'Tis the holiday season. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Football. And we are here on the Grandstand Sports Network. And what a unique night in New York sports. Today is December 22nd, 2017. And last night saw the Knicks play the Celtics at the Garden, and then also saw a cross-town rivalry between the New Jersey Devils, who are in Newark, and the New York Rangers, who play out of Manhattan, as we all know. And they were both very entertaining games. First, we're going to talk about the Knicks, where the Knicks were able to beat the Celtics, the 26-8 Celtics at the time, 102-93 to advance their record to 17-4, albeit the Celtics were tired. They were coming off a back-to-back, a very hard, gritty game where they lost to the Heat, and Kelly Olynyk had a game on them. And the Garden saw MVP chants for somebody. So, logically, we're all going to think that Kristaps Porzingis balled out in this game and earned the MVP chants that he has become accustomed to hearing. But you would be wrong. Kristaps Porzingis played 23 minutes in this game, recorded 1 point, and shot 0 of 11 from the field. It was pretty apparent that his knee was still bothering him in this game. He came out about halfway through the game, and that left us all, when the Knicks had a slight lead, to think, all right, well, what's going to happen in this game? Are we going to be able to hold on to this lead without Porzingis? We're going to need contributions from Enes Kanter, Courtney Lee, French Frank, Dougie McBuckets, and the one, the only, Michael freaking Beasley. Yes, Michael Beasley earned MVP chants last night. Take a listen.
Michael Beasley, no question, he can score, as the Oklahoma City Thunder showed this past Saturday night.
Michael Beasley played less than 25 minutes. He played 24 minutes in this game. He scored 32 points and had 12 rebounds, a double-double. I'm willing to bet that nobody has ever played less than 25 minutes, dropped over 30 points, and had more than 10 rebounds in a game. I don't think that's ever happened for the New York Knicks, to be honest. And Michael Beasley did that last night. And this is off of him coming off that game against Oklahoma City last Saturday where he balled out. This guy is a proven scorer. That is what he can do. And he's very, very confident. Let us not forget, the MVP chants are sort of warranted because he was an MVP in the Chinese Basketball League in 2016 for the Shandong Golden Stars. But yes, nobody thinks he's the MVP of the league. It's just one of those things that are very, very kind of funny to think about, Michael Beasley being the MVP of the league. And it's one of those questions where you can always ask, where were you the night Michael Beasley became the MVP? Because he absolutely took the Knicks to the victory. Led this team, played incredibly efficient, looked very, very good doing it too. Hitting shots, driving the lane, scoring from multiple styles of basketball. He can drive, he can shoot from the elbow, he hit a three. He was doing it all last night. Going back to his Chinese basketball days where he won the All-Star MVP, recording 63 points, 19 rebounds, and 13 assists. Now, I bring that up because it just kind of talks about his determination. Michael Beasley was the second overall pick back in 2008 behind Derrick Rose. Goes to the Heat, kind of phases out, has some problems with marijuana, never really establishes a groove, and then he just kind of bounces around the league. Plays for several different teams, but never really sticks. Now he comes to the Knicks after Carmelo Anthony leaves, and he says, hey, I can replace Carmelo with the scoring. It's like, okay, yeah, whatever, buddy. Now, he's nowhere close to Carmelo Anthony, obviously, when it comes to pedigree and even scoring. He's not that talented. But he still is a spark plug, especially off the bench, and he does provide offense. That's what he does. And we've seen it the last two games. Well, at least the game against OKC. This game against the Celtics. Drops 30-plus points in less than 25 minutes. There's something to be said about that. And I love the confidence. Now, this is the kind of character I like here with the Knicks. Now, it's kind of odd to say that about Michael Beasley because he's kind of been aloof throughout his career. Again, has had some issues with substance abuse, I guess you could say. I don't know if I want to equate substance abuse, smoking marijuana, but you're not supposed to be doing that as an NBA player. So, Michael Beasley, this confidence, though, that he has, combined with the confidence and just the way Enes Kanter carries himself really leads me to love and want to watch this team even more, although I am a diehard Knicks fan. Beasley, when asked after the game, when did you start feeling the hot hand? When you scored all these points against the Celtics? And his response was January 9th, 1989. Well, go look at that date on Wikipedia. What do you think it is? It's his birthday. So this guy has that confidence. He has that swagger about him. And he showed it, put it on display last night for the Knicks to earn a victory against one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference. So very, very motivating, cool story kind of thing. And that's what you need as the Knicks. Because let's be honest, the Knicks probably make the playoffs this year, but they're not going to do anything in the playoffs. They're not that type of team, but we're young, we're exciting. We have a stud in Kristaps Porzingis to build around that people may want to come and play for, and we're the Mecca. So we're in a good place. But again, basketball, there's not much parity in the sport, especially when you have studs like Kevin Durant, when you have playing alongside the people he's playing with, you have studs like LeBron James, who are going to be around for a while. So all I ask of this team is to be competitive and be exciting. And now they have this character and this personality about them, and I really do enjoy this. This is all post-Phil Jackson. We have that absolute cancer off of the team. You got Melo gone, and I think it was time to get rid of him, and they're struggling in OKC, although I want to say they're playing a little bit better now. Russell Westbrook, wow, Russell Wilson, I'm still in football mode, is obviously one of the most exciting players in this league. Again, I think Melo should come off the bench. There's no reason to play him in the starting five with Westbrook and Paul George. Is one ball. He's an offensive player. Don't rely on him for defense. Play Andre Robertson and players like that along with Westbrook. But that's besides the point. I'm not going to sit here and talk about the Thunder anymore. I love what the Knicks are doing and how they look as a team and the swagger that they are carrying with Enes Kanter. We have Courtney Lee, who has been playing exceptionally well the last few weeks, really. I mean, he's still solid on defense. He is hitting the buckets that we need him to hit. He took 4 3-pointers in this game, knocked down 2 of them. And that's not exactly something that you expect from Courtney Lee, but he is playing very well. You're getting offensive output from Jarrett Jack. Obviously, you are also getting his leadership because he's been around the league. And then Frank Ntilikina has been playing incredibly well, hit 2 big threes in the fourth quarter of that game to just extend the Knicks' lead and keep the Celtics from catching up, because when the Knicks had their lead, I was like, oh, geez, how are the Knicks going to find a way to screw this up? It was till about 2 minutes left in the game when the Knicks dropped 34 points in the fourth quarter, thanks mostly to Michael Beasley, who, again, really balled out in the second half. He had, I want to say, 28 of his points in the second half of that game. Yeah, he had 28 of this is season high, 32 points for Beasley. And again, this is just another player we can rely on coming off the bench, another player we can rely on for scoring, so we don't have Tim Hardaway with his foot injury. Porzingis is a little dinged up. Now, is this somebody that you want to rely on? No, he hasn't proven that over his career, but it's still an exciting story. And he's definitely one of those personalities that it's fun to talk about. It's Michael Beasley. I think I saw a tweet, and I don't know who tweeted it. So I don't want to not give credit to the individual, but it was something along the lines of, when a player is on fire, I'm turning on the television no matter what. And I had a list of 5 players. And it was J.R. Smith, it was Kyrie Irving, and it was Michael Beasley, and it was Swaggy P. And I can't remember who the 5th one was. But literally, whenever those guys are on fire, it's exciting because they do things that you don't expect them to do. Now, Kyrie's a little bit different because he's an actual star, but guys like JR, guys like Beasley, guys like Swaggy P, it doesn't happen all the time, but when it happens, it's special, and it's something that makes you want to watch it. That's kind of why I really love this. But the Knicks came out strong in this game, took a 10-point lead in the first quarter, something that I didn't expect playing the Celtics. They started off very, very fast. They were efficient, and it was very fun for me to watch. I was watching it with a group of my friends, a bunch of Knicks fans. We were also switching and watching the Devils-Rangers game as well, because a lot of them are Devils fans. We were Rangers games. So it was a really solid sports night here in Morristown, New Jersey. But second quarter, third quarter, Knicks outscored by the Celtics, but then it was Beasley time in the fourth quarter, and that's where Beasley really, really took over and put the hammer down on the Celtics for the Knicks to earn this 17th victory. Let's go back just a couple years. The Knicks only won 17 games in a year. Think about that now. We're not even halfway through this season, and the Knicks are already at that mark. Just something to go along with, something that's fun. You're encouraged to see Frank hit big shots down the stretch. We're seeing him get these steals. He had 2 steals in this game. He has such long, sticky hands. It's something that is really, really motivating. His plus minus was 13 in this game. Dougie McBuckets coming in, playing 28 minutes, knocking down 2 big 3-pointers too. That is his game. And he does it very, very effectively. Ron Baker played 20 minutes, didn't record a point, but he's still facilitating the ball, doing what he needs to do. Ideally, Ron Baker's not somebody who's going to be on a championship roster. I'm pretty sure we're all aware of that, but still he's earning a role here with this young Knicks team. And then there's Enes Kanter. Enes Kanter, another double-double. 14 points, 10 rebounds. Kyle O'Quinn, 8 points. He had 7 rebounds in this game. So the big men are doing what they need to do. And then with Porzingis going down, if you were to tell the majority of Knicks fans, hey, we're going to play the Celtics, Porzingis isn't going to record a point. He's going to play 23 minutes, and he's going to leave halfway through because his injury's a little bit aggravated. You're going to be like, oh, Knicks are going to get blown out. But, again, Celtics coming off the back-to-back. Knicks take advantage off the back of Michael Beasley, the hashtag MVP. No one would have ever expected Michael Beasley would be getting that chant at the Garden, but he earned it. I love the swagger. Love what is going on with the New York Knicks right now and how they are finding ways to win these games. They might have some things going in their favor, but they found a way to win, and that's all I can really ask for. But now the real test comes for the Knicks, because the Knicks have been very efficient at home. They have been able to win these home games, but they only have 2 road wins on the season. That's it. 2 road wins, and one of them was in frickin' Brooklyn, so that's really not a road win. The Knicks are about to go and play the Pistons in Detroit, so that's not terrible. Then you come back to the Garden for Christmas, noon start against the Sixers. Now, Joel Embiid plays, that's going to be a hard game. Joel Embiid doesn't play, it's still going to be a hard game. So it's going to be prime time, but a lot of people will be watching this game, nationally televised against the Sixers, 2 young teams. Sixers a little bit more exciting than the Knicks. Then you have a road trip. And that's where it could get a little hairy. You got to go to Chicago, a team that's been playing much better, and a team that beat you in Chicago earlier this month. Then you got to go to San Antonio, and then to New Orleans to play the Pelicans. So those could easily be 5 losses right there with this team. The Knicks have the 1 home game out of the 5 games. The Knicks struggle on the road, and you have a hot team in the Bulls. You have the Spurs, who Greg Popovich, you know who the Spurs are, and you have the Pelicans, a big, rough and tough team. The Knicks aren't exactly big, rough and tough. I love what Enes Kanter brings, but he's not Boogie or Anthony Davis, and neither is Kyle O'Quinn, obviously. So the Knicks have a tough road ahead of them. Also, further on down into January, they have to go down to Miami. They have Dallas. In Dallas, you have the Timberwolves. You also have the Nets as another home game, the Grizzlies, the Jazz, the Lakers, the Warriors. You have a long road trip later on in January. So these are all things that the Knicks are going to have to prepare for. They're going to need to be healthy. They're going to need to learn how to win on the road, something this team has not been able to do whatsoever. But damn good game, Michael Beasley, last night. Looking at the NBA standings as of right now, the Celtics are still sitting up top the Eastern Conference despite losing 2 games in a row to the Heat and the Knicks. They're 26-9. The Raptors are 22-8. The Cavs are 24-9. And then you have the Pacers at 18-14. And then that's where everything kind of gets jumbled in together. From the Bucks, who are the 5th seed right now at 16-13, all the way down to the Heat, who are 16-15. So there's a 2-game difference. That is the 5th to the 9th seed right there. Not to mention the Sixers are sitting at 14-17. So a lot of that is very, very congested. All these games are very, very important. But again, like I always say, not to poo-poo basketball, but it's really just top-heavy. You're looking at the Celtics and you're looking at the Cavs. You're not even looking at the Raptors because no one trusts DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry in the playoffs. So you're really looking at the Celtics and the Cavs. When you go over to the Western Conference, a little bit more exciting. Rockets at 25-5, sitting there at 1. Warriors at 2, 25-6, Spurs 22-11. Then it falls off a little bit to the T-Wolves at 19-13. And then from the Trailblazers at 5, kind of the same way as the Eastern Conference, all the way down to the Jazz at 9. Same exact thing. Trailblazers are 16-15, the Jazz are 15-18. So it's still very, very close. And man, who would have thought the Clippers would have fell off the way they did? And then they lose Blake Griffin, and then everything just kind of goes downhill. They started the year off very, very hot, if you remember that. But really, in the Western Conference, the only teams that you're really, really scared of is the Warriors being the favorite, the Rockets, who are the 1 seed right now, and you're not going to write the Spurs off, especially once Kai Leonard gets back and just balls out like you would hope that he would. But still, Timberwolves are a young team as well. So, but basketball, not much parity. But you want to know a sport that has a lot of parity, a sport that I love, and that is the National Hockey League. The NHL saw last night, Rangers-Devils, great rivalry matchup, and it was one of those games. I had my whole friends here, my Devil fan friends, my Ranger fan friends. We all sat down and we watched this game. And the game started off very, very gross to me. From a Rangers fan perspective, that's mostly how I'm going to be talking. The Rangers ended up losing this game, not to spoil anything, but it was in a shootout, a 3-2, or 3-3, so 4-3 game. And the Rangers ended up just losing the shootout. They get the point, which is something that's very, very important, especially in the Metropolitan Division. We'll go over that a little later. The game started out gross. The Rangers, they were out of position very, very often. They seemed like they were all chasing the puck. They were leaving their guys open, and we really relied on Hank early in this game, as we did against the Ducks, to step up big, and he did that. I mean, when you think about the amount of shots on goal that these Rangers let up, it's kind of very, very concerning for me. I mean, the Rangers defense really needs to step up. They really need to not leave people open to just tee off on Hank. The Devils almost had 50 shots on goal in this game, and the Rangers were able to squeak out with a point. You go back to the Anaheim game, it's the same damn thing. A lot of shots on goal, and the Rangers ended up, kind of beating Anaheim bad. But you can't have Hank just be standing on his head at his age right now. It's just one of those things that there's no reason for these teams to be putting up 40-plus points or 40-plus shots on your team. But back to the Rangers and the Devils. I mean, really relied on Hank, but the Rangers kind of surged in the first to make this a 1-1 game. We'll go over the goals here in a second, but I just felt like the Rangers had a lot of dumb passes in the offensive zone, in the neutral zone. They were sloppy with the puck. We saw Nick Holden make a really dumb pass, cross Hank's face that led to a turnover in the first, almost led to a goal. Shattenkirk, very careless with the puck that led to that shorthanded goal. We'll go over here in a little bit. And it's just one of those things that's like defense. The puck is the prize. You cannot give the puck up this way. You can't make cross ice passes over the middle. That's like rule number 1. Unless it's a certainty, you cannot do that in your offensive zone. And the Rangers were doing that, and we're lucky Hank was able to bail them out. But the first goal of this game, we saw John Moore come back and haunt the Rangers. It seems to happen. We'll talk about that a little bit later as well. These former Rangers come back and they score against their old team, but Taylor Hall just kind of crushed Zuccarello along the boards. Zooks was about to get the puck. Taylor Hall puts a really good hit on it. The puck turned over. Heischer finds the puck and then sees John Moore just coming all alone in a high slot, just storming in, and he shoots glove side to beat Hank. I mean, really not much Hank could have done. The defense was out of position. John Moore was all alone, had a free shot at his former goaltender, and capitalized. And the Rangers kind of got a lot of puck luck to stay in this game. I don't want to crap on my team, but just a scrum in front of the net for the next goal in the first period, and Jimmy Vesey skates up, knocks the puck in, something that you want to see, a young player be opportunistic, but that's exactly what happened. It was just the puck was scrambled. I'm surprised. I didn't think it should have happened, but I'm surprised it wasn't a quick whistle. The puck was free. It was never covered. It was free, but usually you see a quick whistle by the men in stripes there, and they did not call the whistle, so great on them. Great on Vesey to be in an opportunistic state to capitalize there and score. And the Rangers didn't stop there. Nick Holden storming in with Kreider, ends up getting Kreider's rebound and putting the puck in the back of the net. So again, 2-1 lead right here. But the Rangers know how to blow leads, and they especially know how to do it when they're on their freaking power play, because Kevin Shattenkirk, who has not been playing well for the Rangers defensively, and you kind of rely on his offensive skill, you rely on his blue line prowess, I guess, did not come to fruition here on the power play. Shattenkirk has the puck in the neutral zone, skating up, and just loses control. And it led to a 2-on-1 where Buchnevich was the player back. And Blake Coleman buries a shorthanded goal, glove side again, against Henrik Lundqvist. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, what the hell are you doing, Shattenkirk? And you know what? Alain Vigneault was thinking the same damn thing, because Shattenkirk barely played in the third period. He only ended up with 13 minutes of ice time, when Mack played about 28 minutes and Nick Holden played about 23. So it's absolutely inexcusable to do that on the road against a conference, a division rival, a heated rival. You cannot turn the puck over in the neutral zone to create odd man rushes. I mean, I'm not telling you anything that's, not known. That is just inexcusable, though. And you did that, resulted in a shorthanded goal, which consequently cost this team a point. That's just piss poor. It's inexcusable. And the Rangers get puck luck to take the lead again, because the puck bounces off the back of the boards right to Kevin Hayes. That's lucky in and of itself. And then Kevin Hayes throws it in the front of the net, trying to find Zuccarello on the other side of the goaltender, but it just bounces off of Severson's skate and right past Corey Schneider. Again, puck luck. So the Rangers did get lucky here to get that 1 point, along with the great play of Henrik Lundqvist. But then no defenseman picks up Brian Boyle, another Ranger coming back to haunt the team. Again, Brian Boyle was a great story. He had cancer in the beginning of the season, went through his therapy, and he's cleared to play now. I love Brian Boyle. He was a part of the 2014 Cup Run team of the New York Rangers. He's a great fourth-line player, great power or penalty kill player as well, big-bodied player. And he comes back to roost. He comes back to roost also in the shootout. But he scores on a nice backhanded shot against his former goaltender as well, which led to the score being tied 3-3, which also led to 3-on-3 hockey in overtime, which is absolutely one of the most exciting things in sports to watch. I love this 3-on-3 overtime. And I thought the Rangers could have it on that one pass Zuccarello. There was seconds left. He finds Zibanejad right in the slot of Corey Schneider, and Zibanejad just hits it late and sends it high and outside, well, inside, I guess, of the goaltender, which led to the shootout. And I'm never too confident in the shootouts. I think Zuccarello is probably our best shootout artist. I like the way he kind of utilizes stopping, going, his quick shot to keep the goaltender honest. But it did not work. He was the first one to go, and then Zibanejad went, and Zibanejad was able to bury the puck, but Palmieri was able to score on Lundqvist, as was Brian Boyle. And that was the reason that the Devils beat the New York Rangers. And it was one of those things where it's like, all right, that point goes to the Devils, and the Devils sit at the top of the Metropolitan Division now with 45 points, tied with the Capitals. Everything is so close. I mean, again, the bottom of the division is the Hurricanes at 37, so less than 10 points away. Look at the Sabres. They're sitting there with 23 points in the Atlantic Division. But the Rangers also, not poo-pooing this team whatsoever. I mean, you wish they would have won that game. They had some puck luck that kept them into the game. They played sloppy. Their defense still giving up 40-plus shots on goal, which is absolutely pathetic, relying way too much on Henrik Lundqvist and Andrei Pavlich when he is in there. So the team needs to figure that out, because in the playoffs, that's not going to last. And I think they got a taste of somewhat of what playoff hockey is like, mainly when it came to physicality, when they played the Ducks a few nights ago. On December 19th, the Ducks came into the Garden. The Rangers were able to beat them 4-1. It was one of those kind of games where it was just hard hitting. I mean, the Ducks are a very, very heavy team. They hit the Rangers 21 times, and they were all big hits. There was one point of this game where we saw JT Miller absorb a hit that he did not like. He seemed like his shoulder was in a lot of pain, and then his next shift, he was man-possessed. The Rangers ended up in this game with 12 hits. I think 5 of them were from JT Miller on that one shift that he was out there. So he was just a man who was not going to take that kind of bullcrap. But yeah, Hank really stepped up, had 39 saves in this game. We saw the fourth line of the team really kind of lead the Rangers to the victory. Desharnais and Paul Carey really capitalized here. Paul Carey had 2 goals. He only has 4 on the season in this game. A lot of really good puck movement by that fourth line, and that's something I have to say about Alain Vigneault. I mean, he's been kind of under fire somewhat throughout the season. It's cooled off now. The Rangers have stabilized, but in the beginning of the year when the team was #not good, they really were all over Vigneault. But the one thing I will say is he always has 4 effective lines, and this team rolls 4 lines deep, and not every NHL team can say that, but in this Ducks game, Desharnais and Paul Carey had the established compatibility with each other. They were able to find the back of the net 2 times, Paul Carey's case, and Desharnais was in on those goals, so that's something that you really want to see. But there was a controversial goal. Now, I don't know if controversial may be the right word, but it was ruled a no goal. But replay came into effect, and it was clearly a goal. It crossed the line. But good old Wes McCauley wanted to do his best impression of Gene Steratore, who, if you want to compare him to an NFL ref, he's a showman. So he kind of leads the Garden on and toys with their emotions a little bit. When the play is reviewed, he does a long, dramatic pause to build the suspense of Madison Square Garden. And he did just that. And here is from the Ducks radio's perspective.
This is the definition of a pregnant pause. I think the Rangers are on television commercial break right now, and he's waiting for the red light to be turned off. Now the fans will now get the call. After reviewing the play, it was determined that the puck completely crossed the goal line. Well, he made him wait, but he knew they were going to like what he had to say.
Yeah, the Rangers weren't on a commercial break there. It was all just pause, showmanship kind of thing. He's had that little smirk on his face, and it was one of those things where the Garden erupted, built the suspense, so good for him when it came to that. But at that point, we were kind of in relief. It was pretty much secured that victory, that hard-fought victory. Now, again, the Rangers essentially, when you look at the scoreboard, really dominated the Ducks, but the Ducks still put 40 shots on goal. Hank had to make 39 saves in this game to secure this victory at home against a team that's heavy, a team that loves to hit, like I said. So they didn't fold under the pressure of these big, heavy West Coast teams. They were able to step up. They were able to secure the W, and I'm happy for that because they weren't able to get that extra point against the Devils despite them gaining 1 point. But again, right now, look at this Metropolitan Division. We always talk about it. First, let's look at Atlantic Division. The Lightning are killing it. They have 52 points, and then it drops to the Maple Leafs at 43 and the Bruins at 41. The next team is the Canadiens at 34. Put things into perspective. Metropolitan Division. Devils 45, Capitals 45, Blue Jackets 44, Rangers 42, Islanders 40, Penguins 39, Flyers 37, Hurricanes 37. So if the playoff were to start right now, the Bruins would get in with 41 points. The Maple Leafs and the Lightning's top 3 of each division get in. So then it would be the Devils, Capitals, Blue Jackets, Rangers, and Islanders. You got the Hurricanes, the bare bottom of the Metropolitan Division. They have a better record than the 4th team in the Atlantic Division when it comes to points. So the Metropolitan Division, again, say it every damn podcast, so much better than any other division in hockey. That's why every point is so critical to the success of these teams, because at the most, only 5 teams from the division can go to the playoffs. And that's what it's looking like it will be. The top 3 and the 2 wild card more than likely will be in the Metro. Going around the NHL, the Predators, 46 points, Jets 46, Blues 46, and then it drops off to 41 from the Stars. Go to the Pacific Division, you got the Kings at 48, the Golden Knights, oh yeah, Vegas, 46, and the Sharks at 40. So, a lot more hockey to be played, and it will be, but still, Metropolitan Division is dominating, and they need to keep securing these points because 2 weeks from now, the Devils sitting there at number 1 right now, they could fall to number 4 in the division. That's how just close all of this is. Moving on to just something I wanted to touch on briefly. Very, very brief NFL note. The Vikings play the Packers in Lambeau on Saturday night. So for you fantasy players who are still in it, if the Vikings lose this game, which not many people expect that to happen, there's no Aaron Rodgers, he's put on IR. But the Eagles will clinch first round bye, home field advantage if the Vikings lose. And that's important because Doug Peterson has come out and said that he wants to get Nate Sudfeld, and he wants to get some of his backups some play, guys like Mac Hollins and things of that nature. So for fantasy, in the fantasy playoffs, if the Vikings do lose, and you will be able to tell before you have to make the decision to start because the Eagles play the Raiders in Philadelphia on Monday night. The Vikings play on a Saturday night in Lambeau. So if the Vikings do end up losing, be a little bit more hesitant to start your Eagles. It's just one fantasy football note I wanted to touch on. Because when they lock up first round bye, I can see them, Nick Foles, and they're all their starters playing the first half, but maybe in the second half, depending on the game flow, they could take them out because the game isn't necessarily as important as it was before, because the Vikings would have lost to the Packers prior. But again, I don't see the Vikings losing on Saturday to Brett Hundley. Alrighty, that is all here on Footballin'. I am Nicholas Filato, and this is the Grandstand Sports Network. Have a lovely, lovely one, guys.